My name is Paniko, 24 years old. I live at home with my parents, and I work part-time at the convenience store in the afternoons. I have a fiancé named Kevin, and our wedding is coming up soon. Kevin was a customer who often came to the convenience store when I was working, and that was how we met. When he first saw me working there, he said that I was so cute, that he fell in love at first sight with me. But actually, I had also fallen in love at first sight with Kevin, who was all muscular and manly. We hit it off straight away and started dating. And it wasn't before long before we decided to get married. However, there was one person who wasn't happy for us. I had met Kevin's parents multiple times already, and my parents loved Kevin a lot. But my older sister didn't have any opportunities to meet him, and we finally got our schedules to match, and they were going to meet for the first time this afternoon at my family's house. My sister is, how do I say this? She's a little bit of a different type of woman from me, and to be honest, we never got along that well ever since we were kids. I really hope she'll like Kevin, who she's meeting for the first time today, but, What? What happened? Your face is covered in band-aids. When I went to go pick him up from the station, Kevin's face was covered in scratches.
I'm sorry. I didn't expect a pillar to come crashing down on me and...
What?
Well, good thing my athleticism is top-notch. I immediately got out of the way, so was able to get out with just a few scratches.
Hey, you didn't get hurt anywhere else, did you?
Yeah, as you can see, I'm fine.
Kevin's job is a construction worker. That muscular body of his is the fruit of his daily labor. Getting injured comes with the job of being a construction worker, but I still get worried. Really, thank goodness you got out with just a few scratches. Just thinking about what could have happened to you makes my heart squeeze so hard I can't breathe.
I'm sorry, but you're right. I need to be more careful moving forward. Because this body isn't living just for myself now.
As we were having this conversation, we arrived at my house. But the moment I tried to open the front door, a woman came flying out at a crazy speed from inside. I was about to get hit by the door in the face. Whoa, that was dangerous! Hey, what are you doing? Come on, Paniko, you're just so clumsy and lame as usual. What were you gonna do if the beautiful me got injured? You need to be careful. No, that was dangerous because of you. You were about to hit me in the face with the door. The person who came flying out was my older sister, Melissa. See you. Wait, Melissa, you're already leaving? I brought my fiancé here to meet you today. I waited a whole 10 minutes and you didn't show up, so I got tired of it already. So I'm gonna go home now. But it's not even the time. It's still 5 minutes before the time we said we would meet, though. As usual, my sister was selfish and matching to the beat of her own drum, and I was over it. If I stay for more than 30 minutes in the house, the smell of peasants seeps into me and I hate it. This distasteful sister of mine married a husband 3 years ago who works at a major company. Now she lives in a luxury high-rise building in the city center, far away from our family home. My sister's dream was always to marry a handsome man with that high level of education and a high salary and become a full-time housewife. When she finally made that dream come true, it made her even more arrogant. She believed that the only things important in this world were looks and money, so she always looks down on our parents who have slowly worked hard their whole lives as being poor peasants. Of course, towards me as well, it's a hurricane of bullying. That's why ever since she got married, I hadn't been in touch with her at all. But then, without being intimidated, Kevin spoke up and greeted my sister first.
Oh, you must be the big sister. It's nice to meet you. I'm Paige's fiancé.
When Kevin bowed and began introducing himself to Melissa, "What? You're Paniko's fiancé? Are you serious?" As she said that, she kept staring right at Kevin. This guy is so tiny and dark-skinned, and his face is a mess. Hey, how dare you say such a thing? Ugh, how can you say that to someone else's fiancé? My blood was boiling inside of me. It's true that Kevin is only about 5'4" and petite, but I was only 4'7". And plus, height shouldn't matter anyway. And his dark skin is proof of his hard work every day. even though he's petite, he's stronger than anyone. How can you say that out of nowhere? You're crossing the line. Even though I was angry, my sister didn't care. I mean, come on. No matter how you look at it, he's tiny and ugly, isn't he? Oh, I need to go already. See you. Without paying any mind to my anger, my sister quickly walked away and left. As usual, she's the most irritating woman. I felt so sorry for Kevin, and I was embarrassed that someone like that was my biological sister. I became overwhelmed with emotion standing there in front of the house. Kevin was looking down as well. I'm really sorry, Kevin, for having such an embarrassing sister.
Don't worry about it. It doesn't bother me anyway.
Because of my sister, we were both feeling down. But we went into the house and my parents happily welcomed Kevin in as usual. Thanks to them, we both felt a little better. That day at night, all went well with my parents, and after Kevin went home and I was sitting down relieved, I got a rare message from my sister. What's up, Panico? Are you seriously going to become family with such an ugly guy like that? Such a rude message off the bat. That's way too rude. Kevin may be dark-skinned and a little bit on the short side, but he's not ugly. Well, your eyes have always been rotten, so unlike me, you have no eye for finding good men. Excuse me? Who do you think you are? Stop saying whatever you want when you don't even know anything about Kevin. He's a really good person, and he's honest, and he also has a great sense of humor. I lost it and sent her a furious message. But my sister didn't pay any mind to my anger. If you marry someone like that, I feel so sorry for your child that's gonna be born. You're also tiny, so of course your child is gonna be tiny too. How dare she talk about my fiancé like that? I can't forgive her. I feel sorry for you, Melissa. You only judge people by their looks. You're someone who knows nothing and has no eyes for good people. I'm going to build my life with Kevin, and I'm going to be happy no matter what. It's a waste of my life to talk to someone like you, who can only look at people through a tainted lens, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I said that, and after the message, I ignored all of Melissa's messages. The next morning, when I checked my cell phone, I had a barrage of angry texts from my sister. More than half of it was her bragging about her celebrity life, and the rest was just berating me and Kevin. My darling is over 6 feet tall, and both of us have really high-quality faces, so when we have kids, there's no doubt they're going to be the best. For you, Panico, the peasant life is so fitting, but I also can't believe he's doing man labor like construction. You're never going to catch up to people like us living in high-rise buildings. The big city is the best, unlike the suburbs where you people are. Isn't it amazing? A luxury high-rise apartment building. Have you ever heard the word view? Who would have thought that there would have been such a difference in sisters between their husband? How do you feel now? And well, she kept sending multiple pathetic messages like this over again. She's so bored, it's seriously pathetic. I'm just going to let her be. A few months later, Kevin and I had a set wedding date and we started sending out the invitations. I couldn't get in the mood, but because she was my immediate family, I did send one to my older sister, and as I expected, I had a message from her straight away. It turns out that my sister had asked my parents all about Kevin. What's up, Panico? I heard that the tiny boyfriend of yours is a high school dropout. And on top of that, he's a construction worker. Are you being serious that you're going to become family with that? Excuse me? So what if he didn't graduate from high school? What does she mean on top of that he's a construction worker? Kevin's family lost their father when he was still young, and his mother raised Kevin and his 2 younger siblings with just her 2 hands. When Kevin graduated middle school, he started working so that he could support his family, and he was earning enough to pay for his younger brother and sister's school fees. That's not something easy to do, and I really respect him because he's someone that's been through a lot but works harder than anyone. Well, for a part-time cashier like you, I guess you're both low-class presents. Maybe you're a perfect match at the bottom together. I could never, ever. And plus, that face and that short height. Isn't he too ugly? I can't believe I have to become family with someone like that. Ugh, give me a break. My sister's selfish and rude messages made me snap and my patience had run out. A part-time cashier peasant? That's because I'm working while studying for my own future. My sister, who doesn't have a worry in the world living in her high-rise luxury apartment, might be happy. But if I'm being real, she's just riding on someone else's life. My life is way more fulfilling than hers. I should be the one getting a break from being family with you. That's what I decided to reply back. I didn't think I needed to think of someone like that as my sister anymore. When I wrote that, I got this reply. Ugh, so annoying. It was just a joke. Paniko, you could never take a joke ever since we were kids. Well then, see you there. But I knew the truth. That my sister's real objective of coming to the wedding was just to brag about her life to all our relatives. I'm sure she's going to go out of her way to try and show everyone the difference between me and her. On top of that, I'm sure she'll brag about her husband and use that to try to make Kevin the laughingstock at the party. This was my self-obsessed bragging sister after all. I knew that there was no way she would let this perfect opportunity of the wedding pass. So, just to be cautious, I made sure to tell Kevin that she would be coming to the wedding, and what her real reason for attending was. Ugh, she's so irritating! Even if she's my real sister, she's the worst woman! I informed Kevin about my messages with her, and my anger was starting to boil once again. But Kevin, on the other hand, was listening with a relaxed look on his face as if it didn't bother him at all. He was just brushing off everything my sister said, as well.
Well, just let her say whatever she wants to say. But even still, am I really that ugly?
Of course not! I love those thick eyebrows and your round eyes. I love them all! Kevin had a unique face with a lot of depth to it, and for someone like me that loves this type of face, I couldn't get enough. Plus, my sister only saw your face the day it was covered in scratches. Seriously, she doesn't know anything, and she keeps belittling us. She's the worst!
Well, the high school dropout comment. It is true, so there's nothing we can say.
But that's not something to be made fun of. You worked your butt off for your little brother and sister, and she's trying to make fun of it without knowing anything about the situation. Truly the worst idiot woman!
But to be rejected from the family does make me feel bad.
When I heard that, a bright idea shone in my head. Hey, if she says that she doesn't want to be family, then what do you think about this? Whisper, 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 whisper. I told Kevin about the idea that came to me.
You're a genius, Paige. Great idea. Well then, why don't we go with that?
That's right! It's time to serve justice to that arrogant, obnoxious woman! And so Kevin and I set out on our plan to get revenge on our rude sister. First thing in the morning, my sister was at our family house complaining nonstop. Oh, I can't get in the mood. This is such a chore to be here. I already know that a peasant couple's wedding is just going to be full of peasant attendees. A celebrity like me is going to stand out so much. That's right, I'm being forced to attend, so I don't need to give you any celebratory money, do I? Even though my parents were furious at her, she didn't seem to care at all. Huh! It won't be long before you won't be able to say anything like that anymore. You better watch and weep. The wedding venue. When my family and I arrived, most of Kevin's friends and family had already gathered at the venue. Within the attendees, my sister found the man that stood out from the rest, and she was ecstatic. What? Hey, isn't that... What? Isn't that the super famous idol Kenji? That was when Kevin showed up.
Oh, Melissa, long time no see. Oh, this is my little brother Kenji.
The person that Kevin introduced was the idol Kenji that my sister was freaking out about before. What? That super hot idol is your little brother? That's right. Kevin's little brother was an extremely famous hot idol.
Even though I worked so hard to get into college, that guy decided that dancing and singing was more fun. And now he's ended up as an idol. My goodness, he won't even listen to me, who's been like a father to him.
Kevin was complaining about him, but Kenji became popular because of his talent, and it's always best to go down the path you want in life. Well, even if this is what Kevin was saying, I know how proud he is of his brother's hard work. Kenji was similar to his late father and was nearly 6 feet tall, but his face was pretty similar to Kevin's. Well, perhaps if you made Kevin a little less hairy and a lot more light-skinned. No way! Why didn't you say so earlier? I can't believe I get to become relatives with Kenji! I can brag to everybody about this! Now that I look more closely, your husband is also handsome, Panico. My sister was so excited, and she was snapping 100 photos. However, this wasn't the only shocking thing. The guests on Kevin's side were CEOs of famous companies, or CEOs of famous brands, a really impressive lineup of people. When my sister saw their names, her jaw was on the floor. How? The room is full of celebrities and CEOs. What? You didn't know? Kevin is also a CEO. Huh? Kevin started working after graduating middle school, and he worked extremely hard. He became an extremely skilled construction worker, and after he saved up enough money, he started his own company. He has helped a lot of famous architects with their buildings and also has great relationships with a lot of young CEOs across various media industries, so he's often featured in the media too. Kenji himself loves being a construction worker, so he still goes to the site and works to this day. But it seems like he's really good at maintaining business relationships as well. Thanks to that, he often gets requests for building stores for high-end brands. And that's why there are a lot of CEOs from those relationships that are attending today. However, even after my explanation, my sister couldn't accept the situation. What? How? Because you're a high school dropout, aren't you? You only graduated middle school. No way. No way. That a pathetic guy with such a low education. See? Again, she's discriminating against people just based on their educational... You're still going on about that. You seriously don't have an eye. Even though he didn't go to high school, he's earning 100 times more than most college graduates. He not only has a good personality, but his mind moves very fast and he's funny. So no matter where he goes, he quickly becomes popular. You know, there are a lot of times that education doesn't matter once you're working out in the real world. You must be really stuck in the past, putting on so much emphasis on educational background. How embarrassing! What is that so? That's amazing! And I get to become family with someone like that? I'm so lucky! Oh, then also that means I'm going to become relatives with Kenji. Well, then I guess I'll go sit near Kenji. The sudden flip in her personality. What do you mean you're so lucky?
Oh, about your seat. We prepared it over there for you.
In the direction that Kevin pointed was the farthest seat from the rest of the venue in the corner of the room. Not only that, but on the small round table there was only one name tag for my sister on the table. What? Over there? Why am I all by myself over there?
Oh, because I was told that I wasn't part of the family because I'm ugly. And I didn't want to cause any trouble by making it look like we were family. So we made sure to give you the seat furthest away from everybody where nobody would notice you.
What? What? Wait. Surely that's a joke, of course, right? Oh no, well, you spent a lot of time belittling us, didn't you? Well, that's that. So, and I have no plans on treating you like my family from now on either. See? You're not on the seating chart as family today either. You are at that seat as an extra person with an unknown relationship to the couple. Your name isn't even listed on the seating chart, so nobody will know that you're related to us, which is exactly what you wanted, so you must be thrilled. Anyway, this is how it ended up, so don't worry. My sister panicked at these words and started desperately trying to backtrack. Hey, no, wait, no, I don't want to. Come on, I was only kidding, everything until now. Come on, just a joke, right? Right? Let's be friendly. Are you kidding me? I don't want to be friendly with someone like you for the rest of my life. Even my parents, who were done with my sister's careless words, said that they didn't want to do anything with her anymore. That's right. I was so relieved that not one of my relatives would have to listen to your bragging about life today. Then the wedding started and I was doing my best to ignore her, but she was just so persistent. But Honey, go! Come on, be friendly with me! I want to become a family with Kenji! She was yelling the whole time from the farthest seat in the corner, and it was just so loud and obnoxious. The complaints from the other guests were also terrible, and in the end we threw her out of the venue. I never wanted to see her face ever again either. Don't come out of that luxury high-rise apartment for the rest of your life! I feel so much better now. After that, my sister annoyingly kept trying to come begging to us, but I completely cut off all ties with her, and I haven't seen her since. Ever since then, my sister refused to give up, and she kept chasing after Kenji, to the point where she was eventually arrested for being a stalker. As a result of that, she was also dumped by her husband, and apparently she's been working part-time at a convenience store now, even after belittling that job for so long. Nobody wanted anything to do with her, and she was left all alone. I guess she couldn't handle being alone anymore, but then she dove into gambling and was riddled in debt. I heard now that she's living on a faraway island while working at a construction site, trying to pay back the debt every day. What goes around comes around. I, on the other hand, made my debut as a manga author. I was dreaming of making my debut, so I was posting consistently while working part-time. My dream was finally becoming a reality, and Kevin was happily helping me as well. I'm going to work hard just like Kevin, and I'm going to succeed. 15 years later, 2 years after we got married, Kevin and I became parents to the cutest twin boys, and they grew up to become shockingly good-looking and even more so than the idol Kenji. At 13 years old, they were already almost 6 feet tall with a healthy build. Whenever they walk around town, there is a storm of scouts from modeling and talent agencies. They both have super great personalities as well, and it seems like they're both popular in school too. I wrote a manga based off the two of them, and it was a huge success. The series is still continuing, and it's a bestseller.
Well, it's a good thing they both didn't grow up to look like me. I am the guy they called ugly after all.
Oh, come on, Kevin. You're never going to let that go, are you?
Because I was pretty devastated by that. I was aware that I had a pretty unique face, but...
And that's the face I love the most. By the way, here, look at this. My manga is going to be turned into a movie.
What? That's amazing, Paige.
You and I are both in it as side characters.
What? Really? What's the role like?
Here, look at this. In the restaurant where the two main characters are having lunch after school with their friends, there's a couple in the background laughing and enjoying their meal.
Oh, that's definitely you and me. Wow, that looks just like us.
It doesn't it? While holding hands on the table. I'm feeding you ice cream.
Wait, hey, everyone is going to know about our real private life then.
Why not? It's the truth anyway. Thanks to marrying you, all of my dreams have come true. I'm so happy. Thank you for watching. What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more. My name is Paige. I'm an 18-year-old college student. Right now, I live with my brother Paul, who's 5 years older than me, and his wife, Karen. Actually, we bought the apartment that we're living in for my brother and I to live in, and we were living in there together as just the two of us. Our hometown where we grew up was far out in the suburbs, and in order to go to the high school that I wanted to attend, I had to move out and live by myself. However, my parents were super against me living alone as a high school student. That was when they said it would be okay if I went with my older brother, who was still living at home at the time. So in the beginning, the two of us were living together. For about 3 years, we were living an easy life. But then about 3 weeks ago, my brother suddenly brought Karen over, who he had married. I thought it was super awkward to live with a newlywed couple. That's why I suggested that we live separately, but it's not like we could do that immediately. And in order to save rent, we ended up deciding to live together for a while. But then, my new sister-in-law, Karen, was a ridiculous woman. What's ridiculous about her, do you ask? 100 ears are nothing against one eye. Please have a look at our everyday situation. Paige, bring me a cup of coffee. This is how our mornings start. Paul and I have to go to work now, but you're an unemployed loser and you have plenty of stamina to spare, so we need to use it. Ugh, I don't want to go to work. Must be nice to be unemployed like you, Paige. And just like this, every day she would bully me in this mysterious way.
Cut it out. How many times do I have to tell you that Paige isn't unemployed?
There's no way that there's a college student who only takes classes online. You're being fooled by your little sister, Paul. I'm pretty sure that there are many colleges that offer classes online, though. Apparently, my sister-in-law couldn't believe that I was taking college classes online, and she treats me like an unemployed, uneducated loser. It makes me wonder what generation she's living in. Must be nice. I wish I could stay at home all day. You always seem so bored. I'm so jealous.
Karen, that's enough already. Paige is doing all of the chores around the house for us in addition to her schoolwork. Plus...
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. She always seems so busy. Busy every day with internet games, right?
Karen, if you don't cut it out, I'm gonna get mad.
I'm only just telling the truth. But Paul, it's fine. Now get going or you're going to be late. Yeah. Hurry up and go to work, honey. My sister-in-law's attitude was so awful that, of course, even after my brother left the house, her mean words would only continue. Oh, that guy. Even though he's a man, he's always nagging at me, and it's so annoying. Please stop talking about my brother like that. My. Such brotherly, sisterly love, isn't it? I'm so jealous. You're loved by your brother, and you get to live in this beautiful apartment without working, and you even get to have an allowance. Honestly, it looks like you're winning in life. What are you saying? Must be nice. You get to live off other people's money. I'm so jealous. You got to spend the rest of your life without anybody by your side when you die. Oh, no. Actually, I'm not jealous of such a sad life at all. Excuse me? How rude can she be? Well then, I need to get going to work too. And have fun being home security, Miss Winning at Life. Oh, why do you mean home security? My sister-in-law is this crap woman who would always pick on me like this. My brother told me that ever since they got married, Karen's personality changed, and he was troubled by it. Before they got married, she must have really been putting on an act. However, there was another side to my sister-in-law that even my brother had never seen yet. And I happened to see it first, on the same day in the afternoon. My sister-in-law, who should have been working on site at an office, I saw her walking around town, looking very friendly with a man I've never seen before. Perhaps it's somebody related to her work? I thought as I watched them from afar. But then the two of them got into a car and they were getting very close to each other, and it obviously looked like a suspicious relationship. However, my sister-in-law noticed me outside the car and she had a terrified look on her face. But she stayed in the car and they drove off somewhere. If my brother knew about this, he would probably be devastated. But there was no way that I could tell my brother about this, because this simply wasn't enough proof. Man, if only I had a car, I could have followed after them. But that face she made was definitely the face of somebody who was caught when they didn't want to be seen. I'm going to get cold, hard evidence somehow. In order to do that, I need to make it seem like I didn't see anything, so she puts her guard down. After finishing my errands and coming back home, I was shocked to find my sister-in-law standing there waiting for me. Hey you! What were you doing in a place like that? Huh? I can't believe that this unemployed crap would see me in the middle of my affair. Stop looking at me like you have me by my weakness. Huh? Karen, please just calm down first. I don't think I have you by any weakness. Yet, that is. Shut up! I know that you know that I lied about going to work, and I was secretly meeting up with another guy in the afternoon. What? And you must know that I'm only dating that guy because I'm after his money, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. This woman is a lot more stupid than I thought. She fully believes that I know it all and is just running her mouth about everything. Listen up. You need to keep it a secret that I was meeting with Kevin. Because I'm not planning a divorce for at least a year, so you better not tell him that instead of going to work, I'm just lazing around in my parents' home and that I'm secretly meeting up with another guy. If you tell Paul about it, I'm going to get you kicked out of this house. It took everything in me to hold back my laughter because how could she be this dumb? I'm not planning on telling my brother, yet at least. And plus, this is my brother and my apartment that we live in, you know. Let's just say, if he were to find out about your affair, wouldn't you be the one that would be kicked out? Huh? This is Paul's apartment, which means that it falls under a married couple's assets. What? Huh? What does she think she's saying? And if Paul says that we're getting a divorce, then I'm going to get this apartment. So, if we get a divorce, then your unemployed self is going to be leaving too. It's too easy to make you homeless, you know? Now, do you understand? Excuse me? And then, she must have been gripping onto a few coins this whole time because she suddenly threw them at me. Ah! Oh, what are you doing? That's money to keep you silent. For an unemployed loser like you, that must be a lot of money. And then Karen stormed out of the house. And once my brother came home as usual without a clue as to what happened, she came home and said, I got the chairman role. However, my generally mild-mannered brother was in a rare occurrence very angry today.
Karen, we need to talk.
What? What is it?
Paige.
The moment my name came out of my brother's mouth, Karen glared at me with piercing eyes and she started to come after me. You stupid, unemployed loser! You told him, didn't you? Even though you're the one being taken care of, how dare you destroy my plan! Whoa, what are you saying? Even my brother, who had an angry look on his face, was shocked. But wait, this flow... I told you to keep your mouth shut, even though I gave you some change to take. Why would you open your mouth that I was having an affair? Wow, I knew it. She just said it.
What? You're having an affair?
What? Hey, what? Because Paige told you, didn't she? I haven't said a word to him. There's no way I would tell him without having any evidence in hand. Why would I do that? She just went on a rant because she thought that I exposed her. This woman was not only garbage, but she's also an idiot.
This morning, I told you that we needed to talk when we got home, didn't I? About your attitude towards Paige?
That's right. Whoops, I also forgot.
But looks like there's no need to talk about it anymore.
What? What are you saying? Are you saying that we're getting a divorce?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes! Now I can finally bid farewell to this piece of crap.
Your bullying of my sister was too much. And even if we are both working, you were dumping all of the chores on Paige. Even I help out with the vacuuming and doing the laundry every day. And I was wondering why you weren't putting in towards any of the life expenses. Only to find out that you were lying about working in the first place.
Paul.
I
can't believe you got married to a woman like that. What did you say? You're just a little sister, so don't stick your nose in our marriage. Huh? You're the one that dragged me into this. Either way, now that we got married, it's all in my favor. If you say you want to get a divorce because I cheated, then I'll be happy to. But you're the one that's going to be in trouble.
Huh? Why would that be the case?
Because if we get divorced, you're going to have to pay a settlement fee. And you know that you're going to have to separate your assets too. I'm not working, so I don't have to give you anything. But you have a savings account and you have this apartment, so you're going to have to split it all with me. She must be in some kind of misunderstanding. What? Wait! I told you to stay out of this! But...
Paige, can you go back to your room for now? I don't want my precious little sister to hear what I'm about to say.
What a beautiful brotherly sisterly love. In order to make sure your precious little sister doesn't become homeless and lost, you're not going to go against me. Once this apartment becomes mine, the first thing I'm going to do is kick that girl out. Hey now, could this mean... I finally understood what she was trying to say. It seemed like it hit my brother too. I see. It looks like it's going to be a pretty funny situation. I went back to my room, but I could still hear the two of them arguing with each other. Well, it more like I had to listen to my sister-in-law's hysterical voice for hours. The next day, When I woke up, the two of them had dark bags under their eyes. Thank goodness today was the weekend. My brother had turned to me and with a tired look on his face, told me he needed to talk to me. Karen was standing there with a grin on her face, her arms crossed with a strong attitude.
Karen and I are getting a divorce. We turned in the divorce papers yesterday, and they've already been accepted.
You really are a stupid guy. Going out of your way to choose the difficult path of a divorce? Well then, you remember what I said, right? Unemployed loser, hurry up and get out! Both my brother and I did not know how to respond to my ex-sister-in-law. I need to get out? Why should that be the case? Let me teach you something about life, you little kid. Your big brother got a divorce. Even as an unemployed loser, you can understand that when you get a divorce, the married couple has to separate their assets, right? And your big brother has to pay the big settlement fee to me, and I also have the right to take this apartment. Because your big brother said that he couldn't forgive me for having an affair, and without thinking about the consequences, he said he wanted to get a divorce. Now you're both going to be homeless and lost. No, there's something wrong with that. Excuse me? Nothing is wrong. In every divorce, it's given that the man gives up the house and leaves. Paul, you better pay that settlement fee within 1 week.
Excuse me? There's definitely something wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong, because my friend got a divorce and she got a very big settlement fee.
Wait a minute. Just because your friend got a settlement fee, you think you can get one too?
Yeah, and she also got the apartment and car. It's unfortunate that you don't have a car, but I think I'll be able to sell this apartment for a good amount of money, so that's a relief. I don't even know where to start. There are a lot of things more unfortunate than just the car. Do you seriously believe that after having an affair, you're going to receive a settlement fee and this apartment? Yeah, you know what they say, that a husband's things are a wife's things, but a wife's things are all a wife's things. Nobody says that! This idiot! It looks like she's stuck inside of a dream. I see. A husband things are a wife's things, huh? But that doesn't mean that my things would be your things, right? You've always been saying that this apartment belongs to my brother, but you seem to have forgotten that this is an apartment that I bought. What? That you bought? Wait, what? Thank you very much for the reaction that I wanted. When you first came to tell me about the wedding, my brother explained it to you, didn't he? That this was the apartment that his sister Paige bought for the two of them to live in. And that is why you hand the rent directly to me. That's right! This apartment was something that I bought. I was there when we explained it to her in the beginning, but this person completely forgot about it. What? I was never told about this. Oh, that day I was so hungover that I wasn't listening to anything.
Excuse me? So that's why you kept calling Paige unemployed, which didn't make any sense. Paige set up her own company when she was 16 years old. And she found success as a high school student and CEO. And she bought this apartment in one payment. But I remember when I explained it to you, you didn't seem to care. When I saw that reaction, I just thought that you weren't after our money.
CEO? In one payment? This unemployed loser? Like I said, I'm not unemployed. But you just said that you were a college student. I never heard about you being a CEO. I may be a CEO, but it's a small company with only 3 employees. Plus, the main job of a student is to study. It was already enough of a pain to explain to you that I was not unemployed, but to try to explain to you many times that I am a college student and also CEO got old, you know? I can do most of my CEO job from home too, and I can take my college classes online from home. So I just assumed you were calling me unemployed because you enjoyed it. Although I had realized that she actually didn't understand my job at all. Haha. Oh, no way. Well then, does that mean I don't get to have this apartment? Obviously not. Surely you're not going to say that a husband's family things are also the wife's things, right? There's no way. Is that a thing?
Obviously it's not.
Don't yell at me like that!
First of all, I told you numerous times that Paige was letting us live here because my salary was low, didn't I?
I thought that what that meant was that your father was sending you money to support Paige. Oh, fine. If I can't have the apartment, then give me the settle fee right now, and then I'll move out to some other apartment. Listen, you keep saying settlement fee all this time, but that's something that you're going to actually have to be paying to my brother. Huh? You know that I am the woman My friend told me that when you get divorced, the woman can have the settlement fee. Oh, and also I get to have the child support fees too, right? What was it, $500 a month? Child support fee? Oh, she's lost her mind. I didn't know you were a dad, Paul.
What? I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Just say no, you're not. We don't have any kids, but I need money in order to live my life. When we get divorced, that means our wallets will be separated, and that's why women can't get money for their husbands every month. I'm so glad I got married. You're joking, right? I didn't think it was this bad. Not only does she seem to believe that a woman always gets the settlement fee in a divorce, she thinks that she's going to get the living expenses. I bet that she heard from her female friend who was cheated on by her husband that she received a settlement fee and was receiving child support payments for their child, and Karen's under the misunderstanding that that means she can get it too. I knew she was dumb, but I didn't think it was this bad. Listen! Payment of the settlement fee is the responsibility of the person who created the reason for the divorce. And child support fees are paid for the child between the couple to support them until the couple's child becomes an adult. Which means that as the one that had the affair, you have to pay my brother a settlement fee, and since you don't have any kids, you're not gonna get any child support fees. Huh? Well then, how am I supposed to live then? Well, that's none of my business. But I guess I should give some advice to this idiot. You should get a job instead of having an affair. I don't want to. I got married because I didn't want to have to work. My friend got both the settlement fee and the child support fees, so why can't I get those? Because you're the one that cheated! That doesn't make any sense. My friend told me that if you get a divorce, then you get to make money. What on earth are you saying? There's no way that a divorce system in which you do something wrong and then make money. If you just think about it a little bit, you should know that. No way. Well then, the settlement fee? And the assets? And the child support fees? You pay! Doesn't exist. You don't get any. What? Let me explain it to you again. You will be paying for the settlement fee. If you were only married for a matter of 3 weeks, there is no separation of assets. There's no way that you will be receiving any child support fees. No way! But that means that getting a divorce is a loss for me. Why didn't you tell me that sooner? You never listened to anything we said anyway. They say 100 ears are nothing against one eye, but for you to hear one friend's divorce story and have this much of a misunderstanding, you are a true idiot.
I guess 100 ears are nothing against one brain.
What is that supposed to mean? In order to make sure your misunderstanding doesn't destroy you, it means that there's no point in doing anything you see or hear without thinking about it at first. Just like you right now! What is this? This isn't what was supposed to happen! My sister-in-law was crying and yelling to take back the divorce, but my brother had already contacted her parents and they dragged her away from us. Karen's parents deeply apologized to us and they promised that they would make her pay the settlement fee. Instead of letting her back into their house, they forced her to go work at a live-in job, but apparently she ran away within the first day. But then her parents kicked her out, telling her not to come back until she returned all of the loans she had to take out for the settlement fee. Apparently, she tried to rely on her friends, but eventually everyone shunned her. No matter what, she refused to accept the settlement fee and the divorce, so she called her friend and attacked her on the phone and exposed the terrible things that she did in her misunderstanding. But then, rumors about her spread and no one wanted to be associated with a girl who would cheat on her husband and attack her friend, so nobody talks to her anymore. At least her friends and parents seem like decent people, thank goodness. After that, I put up the apartment for rent and my brother and I moved out into our own apartments to start living alone. My brother has been getting good results at work and he told me he got a raise recently. We may not live together anymore, but we're still very close.
Paige, I heard that you gave up your CEO seat to one of your employees.
Yeah, I want to make the most of my college life and I also wanted to try working part-time jobs like everyone else my age.
What? What? What a waste!
Oh, that's not true at all. You know how they say, 100 struggles are nothing against one happiness. No matter how much success I have that doesn't lead to happiness, then it's meaningless. When I was in high school, I was so busy being a CEO, but while I'm in college, I'm really wanting to enjoy being a student.
That's true. It is important to enjoy it.
You too, Paul. You should enjoy being with your girlfriend right now.
What? How do you know about that?
Because I see through everything! I, Paige, will be watching over everybody so that you can find your happiness too. My name is Panico, 26 years old. I live with my husband Michael, who is a salaryman, and work as a preschool teacher. When we were still engaged, Michael was really nice, and I was very happy. However, just a few days after we got married, Michael's attitude towards me completely changed. I had a certain certification regarding computers, and one day, preschool principal told me that she wanted to introduce a new program, and I suggested a computer classroom. The principal and the other teachers all loved the idea. In order to make decisions about the rest of the program, I thought it would be better to do it while the computer was in my house, so I invited everyone to use the house. The person who knew the most about computers after me was Mrs. Francis. The discussion continued on with Mrs. Francis and I at the center of it. When all the teachers were leaving, Michael, who was always good on the surface, waved goodbye with a smile on his face, telling everyone to come again. But then, the incident occurred immediately after that.
You're cheating on me with that Francis or whatever, aren't you?
Huh? The moment I closed the door, Michael said that out of nowhere, and without thinking, I raised my voice. Hey, obviously there's no way that would be the case, because...
You're the worst. And they say that children end up just like their parents. You criminal!
What? Actually, my late father had a criminal record. Apparently, he was a pretty terrible person, and my mother went through a really difficult time while raising me with everything she could. As soon as we started dating, I told Michael about this. But the fact that my father was a criminal was the one thing I never wanted to talk about, and that I didn't want anybody to find out about either. Of course, Michael should have known how I felt about it. That's why it hurt even more. After that, every time I would see Michael, he yelled at me every time that I was having an affair with Francis and refused to listen to me. Even when I was going to work, he would ask me if I was going on a date to belittle me, because he wouldn't let me out. I was late to work a few times from this. Presumably from the stress, eventually, I lost my appetite and my health was deteriorating. Then, one day, I went to the hospital. And much to my surprise, I was pregnant. As someone who loves children, I was just so happy, and I wanted to jump around with joy. However, that night, when I told Michael that I was pregnant...
How dare you? That's a child with that Francis, isn't it?
Hey! To be honest, I had a slight feeling that Michael was going to say that. Oh, fuck! I can't believe he actually said it! I've told you many times, haven't I? I'm not cheating!
Shut up! Why should I have to raise a child that's not even mine? I'm not going to accept that kid.
Hey, I'm telling you that you're wrong!
If you're going to insist on giving birth to that kid, then I'm going to tell all of the teachers and the parents from the preschool that you're working at about your affair. And I'm going to tell them that your dad was a criminal too. I wonder how the parents and teachers are going to feel about that. I'm sure that's going to get you fired. Fired.
He saw me at a loss for words, and Michael continued to stand there like he had won and laughed. This bastard! The next day in the morning, I went to the city office and obtained divorce papers. I couldn't take it anymore, so I was thinking about getting a divorce. That night, when I served Michael the papers, he ripped the papers to shreds in front of my eyes.
We're not getting a divorce. The next time you try to bring divorce papers from the city, I'm going to tell everybody about your affair and that your father was a criminal.
If I didn't listen to what Michael said, he would always follow me, saying that he was going to spread word about my supposed affair, and that my dad was a criminal, and he was starting to undermine everything that I said. However, no matter how many times Michael said that, I couldn't give up on having my baby. However, If everybody at the preschool found out that my father was a criminal, it would probably become a rumor amongst the parents, and it might cause trouble for the principal and other teachers. Oh, how can I get a divorce from Michael? I spent days pondering this question, until that day, when the worst incident in my life happened. That day, when I got home after work, Michael was sitting on the sofa, silent and sulking with a dark face.
Welcome home. I was really terrible to you until now. My bad. There was something wrong with me.
Michael said that and apologized to me. And then he suggested that the two of us go for a walk. Is he plotting something? I thought it was creepy, so at first I denied him and said that I didn't want to go on the walk. But then he said, let's go to get the divorce papers, and in that case, I thought I should go and get started to get ready. However, just in case, I put the small crime alert keyring that was left over from the ones we passed out to the children in my wallet, and I tucked that into my pocket. After that, we went to the city office and received the divorce papers. We stopped by a beachfront area near the house. Michael said that he wanted to talk to me there. I thought I could at least do what he wants one last time. So I was walking next to him on the sandbank. And then when we were in a blind spot out of view of everybody around us, it was at that moment. What? I suddenly felt my body floating, and when I closed my eyes out of fear, I felt a sharp pain run through my body from hitting my back very strongly. When I opened my eyes, I was somehow at the bottom of a hole? I realized that I had fallen into a very deep hole. Wait, what about the baby? Is it going to be okay? And right then...
You fell for it. You fell for it.
I could see Michael's face peeking into the hole from above, and to my shock, he was cracking up.
And with that kid in your stomach is done for.
You bastard! I screamed at the top of my lungs towards Michael. Are you kidding me? Get me out of here right now! I'm going to turn you into the police!
Oh yeah? You better not think about it. If you snitch to the police about this, I'm going to tell everybody about your affair. That you're the daughter of a criminal. Oh, you should just stay there like that for a while. Until that kid completely gives up. That's right.
After he said that, Michael disappeared and left me there. My cell phone was in my bag, which I had let go of the moment I fell into the hole. But I was so glad that I had put the crime alert on my wallet and that I had tucked it into my pocket. The sand was slowly starting to flow in, and I was scared of being buried alive. But before that could happen, an old man who was walking his dog noticed the sound of the crime alert alarm that I was ringing, and he helped me out. I went straight to the hospital and had the doctor run exams. And when I found out that the baby in my belly was safe, I was relieved. But I couldn't believe that he would drop his pregnant wife into a hole and then leave her there. There's no way he can do that and get away with it. At this rate, the only thing left to do is take him to court. And so I decided. To be honest, I wasn't financially comfortable, but you can't put a price on life. And that day, instead of going home, I went to stay at a hotel. On the way there, I explained the situation to the preschool principal, and when I told her that I would be taking a few days off of work, she rushed over to the hotel to meet me. And then, I received some really great news at that time. And then I came up with the best plan for revenge. Just you wait, Michael. I'm gonna drop you straight to the bottom of hell! 2 days later, when I went to work at the preschool from the hotel, Michael was standing there near the gates.
Even though you got out of the hole, why didn't you come home? I thought about finally letting you out and I went to the beach, but you weren't there. You better not have gone to the police, did you? If you did, I'm going to tell everybody about your affair and that you're the daughter of a...
This is perfect! It would be better if you were there in person anyway.
Huh?
When I said that, Michael scratched his head. I didn't go to the police, because you're about to get into a lot more trouble than that now.
Trouble?
Michael stared at me as I said that with ease and confidence. And then he scoffed at me and raised his voice.
What are you plotting?
And at that moment... Oh my! Well, if it isn't Mrs. Panico's husband. I see Mrs. Panico's husband is here today to observe as well. We have told all of the other students and teachers and their families, as well as the families of their students, that they are welcome to observe it freely today, so please, come on in! When he saw the principal, Michael was always good at putting on a good face when he quickly changed expressions and put on a warm smile. But you could tell that he didn't really understand what the principal was saying. However, he must not have wanted anyone to think that he didn't know anything about his wife's job and that we were an unhappy couple.
That's right. I'm here for the observation.
He said that as he was ushered into the preschool and went to a certain classroom. When he got to the classroom...
What is this?
He quietly muttered, but of course he would. Inside the preschool classroom, for some reason, there were multiple mics set up around the classroom, and there were people running around that didn't look like they had anything to do with the preschool. Wow, we got really lucky. A different preschool was supposed to be featured, but that preschool suddenly rejected the interview and we were the lucky ones to get asked next. This is all thanks to Mrs. Panico's suggestion that we start a computer classroom here.
Feature?
And at that moment, someone with sunglasses called over to us. Mrs. Principal! Mrs. Panico! We're here for you! The principal and I took our places in front of the microphones, and we put on the headphones that they gave us. The man with sunglasses put his hand up, and one by one he put his fingers down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then... Hello everybody! This is your radio host, Taryn. Today we are here to speak with a preschool who is venturing into new challenges that are a bit unique. The preschool that I am at today has integrated a computer classroom into their education program. Isn't that right, Mrs. Principal? There was a female radio host named Mrs. Taryn standing next to us.
Radio?
Michael must have realized what I was about to do and I could see him slowly start panicking in front of my eyes. That's right, a live radio station was here at our preschool today to do a feature on us. That's right, it was Mrs. Panico's idea for the classroom. She was the one to suggest this very unique program for the school. Even the stories from her personal life are very interesting as well. Please, I hope you will all enjoy her stories. During that time, Michael was desperately shaking and waving his body, begging me not to say anything, and panicking in the corner. Ha! What an idiot. Oh my, could it be your husband that's here with us in the classroom, Mrs. Panico? It looks like he's desperately using his whole body to support you, Mrs. Panico. What a fun husband. See, Mrs. Taryn, she noticed him now, so she's perfectly setting me up to talk about him. Oh, what idiots. Idiots can't even hide the fact that they're idiots. And so, this was how I chose to answer her. That's right! My husband is truly a strange person. I have a very special story about him. Oh, well, that's exciting. We definitely need to hear this then. This is actually a story from the other day. I'm pregnant, you see, and he dug a hole and almost tricked me and dropped me into it. Ha! Can you believe it? I was almost killed by him. What? In an instant, the air froze over in that room, and Michael was completely frozen in place. And then the parents who were in the classroom started saying, "I can't believe it! Someone call the police! Call the police!" Michael came to with a commotion as he started squirming and looking around the room.
No. She's the one that is having the affair with someone named Francis, and she's the daughter of a criminal. She's to be fired, right? As a preschool teacher.
Excuse me. That was when Mrs. Francis appeared. She was scratching her head. She just said one line. I'm a woman, you know.
What?
That's right. This guy refused to listen to me at all, so that's why he had a misunderstanding the whole time. It was true that Mrs. Francis was a little bit boyish with short hair and always wearing pants. However, she was a female, and there was no way that she and I would be able to have a child together.
No way. Well then, all this time, what have I...
On top of that, the principal and I had walked over to the stand in front of Michael. So Mrs. Panico is the daughter of a criminal? And what about that? What does that have to do with anything? The principal always had a kind look on her face, but she was glaring right at Michael. When a former student came back to visit this preschool and she heard that they were being bullied in elementary school and stopped going to school, she took the matter to heart and stayed by that student's side until they were able to go back to school. That's the kind of teacher that she is.
But her dad...
Even when the mother of a student was being abused by her husband, she was the first one to notice the scars on her arm and she was able to save her. It doesn't matter who or what her parents are. Mrs. Panico is Mrs. Panico! Mrs. Principal. Michael let out a croaked breath as he crumbled on the spot. And not long after, someone must have called the police because they showed up at the door. With tears streaming down his face, Michael was arrested. And after that, Michael was thrown into prison. Of course, it looks like he won't be coming out anytime soon. Apparently, Michael is always asking to see me, but there's no way I would go over there. Michael was cut off from his family and relatives, and he became a convicted criminal. And due to the stress, I heard that he lost a lot of weight. But no matter how you think about it, he did it all to himself. For what it's worth, the radio channel that came for the feature said that they had gained a lot of new fans because of the interview that became so popular. I actually had a bad feeling about causing trouble for everybody involved, but actually, from now on, they said that they were going to focus more on things that actually happened to women who were in trouble like me, and shed light on the devastating situation of women who are being abused by their husbands, and in turn, they actually thanked me for sparking this wave. Now, as for what I am doing with my life currently, the divorce was finalized and I was given my maternity leave, and I am relaxing at my parents' house while I eagerly await the birth of the baby in my belly. Oh, that reminds me. The principal came to visit me at my house the other day and... Ma'am, about that time, I'm very sorry for acting so selfishly. Not at all. When I listened to it again, I was very moved. And now we are being flooded by parents who want their child to attend our preschool, and others who are asking how they can support us. And I am very grateful to you, Mrs. Panico. Thank you. Ma'am. When things calm down, I do hope you'll come back to join us at the preschool. There are many mothers who are waiting for your return. Thank you very much. Yes! Of course I will! Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!